good. Nice. I love when things work. All right. Well, we might as well. Yeah, it's on YouTube because it just echoed in my mic or my headset. All right.
Yep,
Yeah.
says for life.
Let's just get going right into this then. Welcome everyone to episode 102 of the Four Guys with Quarters podcast. I am Inferno 217. We have a lovely cast of characters with us this evening. Not the sexiest of the bunch, but
Ouch.
perhaps the most knowledgeable. We have ZPCI Assassin making his 102nd straight appearance. What's up, Assassin?
Hi.
I will give it to you. You have way more hair than me, and of which I am jealous of. So,
Good.
wow.
Great response.
Yeah, no kidding, right? We've got Bearclaw Gaming filling in for Taylor this week. What's up, Bearclaw?
Hey, thanks for having me back, guys. I'm excited to be here 2 weeks in a row. Woohoo.
Yeah. I mean, this guy right here is very, very reliable on Thursdays or Fridays, apparently.
Wait a minute. You mean that's not Taylor? That's Bearclaw? Couldn't tell.
That's Bearclaw Gaming.
We look and sound so similar.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. We've got somebody's echoing.
Yeah, not me.
Are you sure, Bearclaw, that wasn't you?
Not me.
Yeah. I'm muted.
All right.
Anyway, it's stopped now. Last but not least, we have Italian Clowns. What's up, bud?
What's up, man?
Fighting off hurricanes down in Florida just to make this show. I appreciate the dedication.
Well, my beard is so big now, I think it could soak up all the rain out here.
Yeah, I saw you growing that shit. You getting some help from Stein on Twitter about that?
Oh yeah, man. You know Stein's the go-to guy. Him and Jay Taylor.
Nice. Yeah, Jay Taylor, aka Beard, for everyone who doesn't know or has not seen him, has a huge beard. I was not thinking it was that large until I saw him in person. And he's a tall and big guy anyway, and he's got a huge beard. It's crazy. Definitely a year's worth, if not more, of growth. It's absolutely massive. So shout out to that beard, and shout out to everyone who grows beards out there. Everyone on this show has a beard, right? Assassin, tilt your head up a little bit, bud.
No.
Wow.
Apparently shy about it.
Assassin's got a mustache and then a beard also. See how like his is like really separated?
Yes, I do see that. He's got a little Fu Manchu going on over there.
Yeah.
All right, well, everyone who's watching live on YouTube, Beam, Twitch, thank you guys for coming by again and checking out the show. We really appreciate the support. Anyone who's not watching live, we obviously also appreciate your support. Definitely, like this video on YouTube if you're not watching live, or like us on iTunes and podcasts and stuff. It really helps us out, and lets us know what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong, and if you guys are enjoying the show. So we have a good one for you tonight. Not a lot of topics. It's probably going to be a shorter show, but
well, before we get into it, why don't we make a special announcement about what's upcoming?
Oh yes, let's start off right with that. So Clowns has a very special announcement about an interview that we have of somebody pretty big in the gaming industry and the gaming community. So go ahead and tell us about that, Clowns.
Well, Four Guys with Quarters, we'll be doing an interview with Steve. And if you guys know who Steve is without his last name, he's a pretty cool dude. He is the voice of Master Chief in all the Halos, including Halo Wars. So, yep, he's going to be on. Look for that episode around September 14th.
Yeah, so we'll be announcing that on Twitter, pretty frequently, so you guys don't forget. So you guys are there to able to ask him questions, and we'll have some more details on the next podcast about that interview, just to keep you guys updated about all that stuff. So awesome get for sure.
And we couldn't do it without the Halo expert in the Xbox community, aka Xbot.
Yeah, so I think exactly. So Xbot I think is going to be joining us for that one. I'm sure he'll bring a lot of heat, a lot of questions to that episode. So definitely check that one out, because it's going to be a special episode, and I think it's going to be really, really good. So can't wait to have that happen. So you said the 14th or the 13th? I thought it was the 13th.
We're doing the pre-recorded interview on the 13th.
Oh, okay.
Since we told him it was pre-recorded, I think it's got to stay that way. But yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, probably air on the 14th, but we'll record on the 13th. It'll be good. It'll be awesome. Really informative. And, it sucks that people like voice actors aren't really getting the exposure that they should. And when they're huge parts of the game itself and really bring people into, the character. And, everyone knows Master Chief's voice and no one thinks, oh, who voiced that person, or what went into voicing Master Chief. So, um, really, really important people to talk to about gaming and about how they got into the industry, that kind of thing. So definitely come check that out if you guys would. That'd be awesome. So yeah, a few topics this week. We've got Battlefield 1. We've got some No Man's Sky stuff, and we got a pretty big portion of the show about remasters. So as I have been doing lately, I'll let Assassin go ahead and pick the first topic.
Let's do that little small thing that came out. It's that Battlefield 1, I think. I don't know.
Oh, that one? Yeah. Okay. All right.
I don't think it's that big.
Okay, yeah. Not a huge topic. That's what dude, you can't say that anymore. YouTube censorship.
That's right. My bad.
Come on.
Too bad.
I mean, it doesn't really matter because I'm about to show some video with gunplay and stuff, so not like it matters. Or is that allowed? I didn't really look into it too much yet.
I think it has to be like real war stuff.
I don't know. This game looks pretty real, right?
Well, I think the YouTube thing is as long as it's not opinionated and it's backed by facts, you're okay. So throw something factual about the game, Assassin.
There you go. Anyway, so it's available now. I'm pretty sure all of us had access as being insiders the day before. Clowns got me a code on PC, which was awesome because I checked it out on my PC. PC Master Race. Hashtag Red Assassin.
No.
No, but in all seriousness, it's pretty good on the PC. I haven't played it on Xbox yet. We're going to let these guys talk more about the Xbox experience, which is probably what everyone is here to hear about. So, it's available now for everyone. What do you guys think? Assassin, I know this is kind of like your baby, so I want to have you go ahead and start with the opinions.
It's a little buggy. I mean, the servers have been down. Yesterday, we were in matches where people's guns disappeared. You were literally holding weapons. If you looked at someone, their thumbs would be going up and down. You couldn't use your equipment. It was a mess. A little of that happened today. What else? There was a few more bugs of you can spawn in rush before everyone else does. You could take out both of the objectives before anyone else spawns, which is nice sometimes when you're the attacking ones, of course. But as for the game, I love it. I mean, it's amazing.
Are you loving that EA service stability, Assassin? Is that one of your favorite parts of the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's not an EA game without problems, but I heard that they were attacked by some hacker group.
So at least they have an excuse this time. Every other time, it was kind of like bullshit, but this time, they can pin it on that.
I mean, let's do a little bit of rewind here. You remember when Titanfall 1 launched?
Yeah.
Don't you remember their servers were DDoS for like 3 days straight?
I do remember that.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either.
That group promised if another Titanfall came out, they would do the same thing. So, I said that like a while ago, but yeah, I just wanted to throw it out there, Assassin, for you.
Okay.
Maybe they'll have it on Titanfall 2. Who knows? But so they were attacked briefly. I mean, that's been settled, yet still server problems, no?
Yeah, it happens once in a while. Get kicked out of a match and says the servers aren't there.
So basically, when it works, it's pretty good, but I mean, it comes with the typical bumps of a beta, in addition to, again, this DDoS attack.
Yeah. Did you experience any problems with servers, Bearclaw, when you were playing?
So on the first day, for the insiders, so on the 30th, I played with Assassin for probably 8 hours. Like, the first day, we played a ridiculous amount, and we had no issues, but it was when it went to everybody else. So I'm going to guess that the increased server load in addition to DDoS attack is probably what brought it down. I did have issues yesterday. It seems to be markedly better today, but it still is having some hiccups for sure.
Right.
Yep.
Clowns, you check out any of the any of the beta while you were in the midst of terrible weather?
Yeah, and I played with Assassin and Bearclaw, and I gotta say I'm really impressed. I feel like it's faster paced, and I like that. I don't know if that's changed in the last few days or whatnot, but yeah, I like it. The spawn time feels quicker, the way they do it.
Mhm.
The only thing, I mean, it's a beta, and I get tired of playing the same map, so I stopped playing. But yeah, I love it. The game's great.
Yeah, I will say, along with what Klaus is saying, I think that I guess like this map is good. It's fun to play. It's beautiful. The game looks great, even on Xbox One. There's a little bit of pop in, but it's definitely tolerable. But I don't know. It's just this map doesn't feel like it lends itself to everything they've made Battlefield 1 about, which is verticality, cities, destruction, and a lot of this level, except for the last spawn point in Rush or point C in Conquest, is kind of wide open desert fields, which is again not really what they've sold Battlefield on. So it seems
Yeah.
like an odd pick
Mhm.
for level, but again, gorgeous. Just I kind of wish we had gotten St. Quentin Scar, which was featured in the alpha earlier this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think it's a very interesting choice. I happen to like, I happen to ignore all that when I see a lot of the destruction, a lot of the gas, a lot of the smoke and stuff, a lot of the particle effects. I mean, granted, I'm playing on PC, so I'm not really sure how it looks on Xbox One, to be honest with you. And when I played it at E3, back in June, I did play it on a PC with some pretty nice specs. So I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna talk like I've played it on Xbox or PS4, but I'm looking at these things and I'm like, wow, this is much improved from Battlefield 4. Some of these alpha effects they call them, with the smoke, with the gas, with the tank rounds hitting the ground, kicking up dust, stuff like that. So I'm distracted by that, and I'm not paying as much attention to the fact that there's no buildings to destroy, there's no levolution, there's none of that crazy stuff. And I'm taken aback by all the other stuff they've kind of like tagged on and made it so immersive. So I don't know if that's kind of like what they were going for, and they were trying to, make it seem like, they wanted to push that stuff more so you can experience that stuff a lot more, or
Right.
what. But I mean, that's no excuse by any means. It's not. I'm not like excusing the fact that this is a very bland map for sure, and save for a couple of the points on Conquest, I'm with you on that. It's pretty bland out there when you're just running around.
Yep. Yeah. Point E in Conquest, where it's like way out in the boonies. It's awful. But no, I mean, and you are right. For people who haven't played yet, go download it right now. But also, you are right. Even on Xbox, I've noticed that it basically has Star Wars Battlefront level graphics on console. So same visual fidelity. Just a actual World War One skin, but not to say they play similar. Just visually the same, almost photorealistic at times
Yeah.
stuff. Which is, and if it's like that on console, I'm sure it's incredible on PC as well.
Assassin, you have anything to say about the graphics, about the smoke effects, anything like that?
I just love them. I mean, they're so good. I get distracted sometimes just looking at. It's gonna look weird, but the mountain. I don't know. Something about that mountain looks nice.
No, it's true. I mean, dude, I'm looking up into that mountain. I'm like, look at all these crevices and stuff. I don't know why I'm doing
Yeah.
it, and I agree. It may be a little fanboyish on the fact that I really love Battlefield as a series, but I'm just looking at it and I'm just like, this looks. I mean, granted, I'm playing on a PC. I will qualify that, but I'm just looking on it and I'm like, wow, this looks so real. This looks like I'm really in this thing. And it's really taking me aback. And then I got stabbed in the back or hit with a club or something. So that doesn't really work out. But anyway,
Well, and similarly, just like Forza Horizon 3, the developers used I'm going to pronounce this wrong, what is it? Photogrammetry. I can't pronounce it.
I
But
have
it's
no idea what
basically,
you're talking about.
well, okay, so it's basically this concept of like, instead of just going to a place and looking at it and drawing it and taking pictures of it for inspiration, they literally take pictures of environments and then they just build them into the game. So for example, Forza Horizons 3 has photorealistic skies, and it's because they went to Australia and just took thousands and thousands of pictures of the sky and then connected them together.
Yeah. So
Right. So
Seems
this is
like
how
a
you get
fun
that
job.
right. This is how you get these really photorealistic things even on a console. It's super super cutting edge. From my understanding, not a lot of games do it, so it's pretty cool.
The one thing that I'm gonna complain about on Battlefield 1 right now is that the horses seem to be like almost
Oh my
invincible.
god, yeah, no, you
They
can.
should just drop dead when you shoot them.
Well, they
Well,
can
that's why
take
you
a
shoot
tank.
the person on it.
They can take the tank round and survive. It's ridiculous. And Assassin and I kind of talked about this on what was it, Monday, Tuesday when we played
Tuesday.
this. Yeah,
Tuesday.
Tuesday when we played this. I think it's because Dice didn't want to just have dying animals constantly, so they were like, "Oh, let's overpower them." But I'm hoping in the final release of the game, a tank round is enough to stop a horse.
A tank round, yeah. I mean that
Yeah.
should be right.
Tank around should blow a horse in half, and
Yeah.
I'm not being insensitive. Don't come after me, ASPCA or whatever. But like,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a war game. Like, you gotta put horses in it and make them not, destructible, if you will. That's kind of
Right.
counter
Yeah,
to what you'd
definitely.
expect.
And it's like the horses have more health than tanks.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that because I watched. You see, I haven't gotten on a horse quite yet, but I watched a few streams earlier, and some guy was like, had a horse. He hopped over a tank and like stabbed the guy right out of the tank or whatever, the Humvee or whatever it is. Not a
Yeah.
Humvee, but what?
The Jeeps.
The Jeep. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. So he hopped right over a Jeep and used the sword and stabbed him, or whatever, right out of a damn Jeep, and that guy couldn't fend off that horse because,
Well, that's why you shoot the big target on top of the horse.
Well, Assassin,
It's very easy.
don't you remember when we played, when I was driving the tank and you were in there, and I was going and the tank went down to like half health, and you're like, clowns, if you're driving, you're doing a shitty job. And then a horse dude jumped over us and threw like some dynamite or something on us, and we blew up.
Grenade.
Yeah, grenade. So yeah, I mean, you didn't shoot the guy on the horse.
Dude, that sounds cool though. Like, I know that, C4 isn't really like a thing, but in this game, like, you go by with the tank grenade or whatever it is. I don't remember the name of it. You know what I'm talking about? Like the grenade that looks like it has 6 pieces on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks like it's like 6 steel hand grenades strapped together. Yeah, it's
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, you go by with the horse and you just drop down on top of a tank. Like, see you later. You hop over it with the horse.
Oh yeah,
That'd be sick.
This game constantly feels like you're playing a movie. I mean, not the scenes where you die, obviously, but like every once in a while you get a bayonet kill and it will turn into like a multi thing. And this game. This is one of the few games where like I'll play it and I'll be like, this is like the trailer. Because just so often we get this, insane trailers that don't end up, living up to the game. Or I guess the other way around.
Right.
But no, so far I'm very satisfied with it. Wish they would put the alpha map in it. They're not going to do it. Obviously, there's just not enough time.
Right.
But so far it's very good. It didn't raise any red flags for me that make me concerned for its launch. It doesn't have the issues that Battlefield 3 and 4 had, at least obviously yet. So I'm looking forward to it when it launches in October.
Yeah, I think this is done. I think this beta is doing the exact opposite of what the Titanfall beta, I'm sorry, I use that term loosely, and I really warn against that, like I said last week on the show. But the technical test, the pre-alpha, I think this is doing the exact opposite. I think this is even building more hype, if that's even possible.
Right.
Battlefield is a very well-known franchise and very established, and it doesn't need anything to help it really. But of course, they threw out this week-long beta and said, here you go. Enjoy it. And, people look past the technical issues. People look past the fact that the servers are going down. People look past the thing. We got people in the chat like Snap and Foxfire and J Street. They all were like, it's awesome when the servers work. Like, people just dismiss that like that's not a big deal. But in Titanfall, if the servers went down, people would be beating the hell out of it, or people complain about the slowness or whatever, and it doesn't feel like Titanfall. This feels like Battlefield, and it feels like they're taking it to the next level, and people are even more excited than they thought.
Well, it's interesting. I don't remember which of you said it, but this is like, and I agree with whoever said it. This game feels a touch faster than Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3 and even Hardline. And that's kind of the opposite complaint of Titanfall 2, right? Where everyone's like, it's slower. And like, but now this, and again, I don't think the gameplay is like Call of Duty, but it just kind of has that pacing of you can get to action a little bit quicker now. But it's interesting, yeah, you are right. There's a really, really big contrast between people's feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
I know Assassin over there is like grinding his teeth because he really liked Titanfall and doesn't really agree with that assessment. But you got to admit that's true, Assassin, amongst the community.
Sure.
No, but you know what I mean. Not that Titanfall was bad. I'm just saying like it's being viewed like completely oppositely.
Oh
Battlefield's like the
yeah.
next coming of Christ,
Yeah.
and Titanfall is not obviously. So I think J Street kind of like summarizes it pretty well in the chat, and he says, way too many games coming out: Mafia 3, Gears of War 4, Battlefield 1, Watch Dogs 2, Titanfall 2. Like, there's just so much stuff coming out that people are making their choices, and Battlefield is making such a good first impression that it's kind of like, okay, well, that's on my list, And Titanfall didn't make a great impression, and people are like, well, starting to scratch it out with pencil,
Yep.
that kind of thing. So, um, awesome clip, by the way, from Assassin here that we're showing on the show.
Which one is it? Like what part?
It's from your stream earlier.
Yeah.
You were playing with Fire Monkey. You're not quite in the tank. You're playing as the medic, just gunning guys down with that bolt action.
I love it. I love those marksman rifles.
Yeah.
So good.
Thank you, Heretic Zombie in the Twitch chat, by the way, for hosting us. Really appreciate that. Quite a bit. We don't get a lot of hosts, but we appreciate that one. Thank you. So the thing that I kind of wanted to bring up before we got off this topic, so to speak, was something that I had a problem with at the E3 demo when I played it. My biggest problem was the recoil and the spray and the way the guns felt as a result of the iron sights. And obviously this isn't like futuristic, so there's not going to be like a red dot, ACOG, and all this kind of crazy shit, right? Um, so what do you guys think about that? Do you think I'll tell you from what I played at E3 to now, it's much improved. But do you guys think the recoil's a little much? Do you think it's appropriate for World War One? Like, how do you think the guns feel compared to past Battlefield games?
I am glad that there's recoil because if you remember Battlefield 1, like especially assault players, there was no recoil like on like 99% of those weapons. They're all like lasers, as everyone keeps on saying. So some recoil is nice.
Agreed. Agreed. And building off of that, obviously we're all in the know here, but World War One, very very mechanical. Things are very primitive as far as firearms go, are relatively primitive, and so like these big cumbersome weapons and I don't know. I think that works very well. I think it fits the era. Like if people had no recoil and like weapons were easily handled, I just think it would be very dishonest of the era. And they obviously take some liberties to make the game fun, but no, I like it. How it feels now. The weapons, everything feels very badass. Assassin and I were talking the other day. There's an anti-tank turret that you can use. You have to manually load each shell
Love
in,
it.
and like it's got huge recoil, but it feels so good. I don't know. It's almost empowering when they have these big recoil, big powerful weapons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I didn't play the E3 demo, so it could handle it's entirely different. I'm not.
Oh, it does. I'll tell you right now, it does. Like the E3 demo, like I obviously loved it because it was Battlefield. I was looking forward to it because I understood, it was a June, it was probably like a May build that they were showing off in June, and the game's coming out in October. So I understood, it's gonna change. But when I played it, I gotta be honest with you, I was turned off by the recoil. I thought it was a lot, and when I asked somebody about it that was at the booth that was working for EA. They told me, that's kind of like what the area is. Don't expect like Battlefield 1 or COD. There's going to be recoil because these guns didn't handle perfectly back, in World War One days, which I understand. But, to me, it was very cumbersome, to get used to that in such a short demo, like you have at E3 or at EA Play at E3, I should say. But it is much improved from what I've played on PC. I do plug my my Xbox One controller into my PC to play because I'm not a keyboard and mouse guy. Obviously, consoles for life. But it's much improved. So I will say that because I was telling Assassin, I think we got in a Skype call. Excuse me. I think we got in a Skype call. Like from E3, and I said to Assassin, I'm like, dude, that was insane. Like I was firing the machine gun, the support class gun, and I'm just like spraying it everywhere. and I was saying to myself, like, this is ridiculous. Like, I understand the error and everything, but no one's gonna be like, people are gonna complain about that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, people are psyched about Battlefield and they love that. They love the series, but as soon as there's something that pisses people off, they will just gravitate to that and make a big deal out of that. And that is what I see the recoil thing being for a lot of people that are used to no recoil kind of games like COD, or younger players, that are getting into this for the first time and are used to, the easy shit, if you will.
Yep.
So, and J Street makes an interesting comment in the YouTube chat. He says it's still a game. It doesn't need to be too real.
Right. Right. Well, and that's one of the things DICE has talked a lot about since E3 is that like they have to take some liberties just to make the game fun, right? Like
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean? There are some weapons, for example, in this game that DICE talked about were rarely used in war, but they were used, and so they're just commonplace in the game because like otherwise you'd have like 7 guns that are used.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously he's absolutely spot on. Like there are sacrifices that are made for the sake of entertainment.
Did you find the recoil to be an issue, Clowns, or were you all right with it?
No, it's fine with it. I mean, it's World War One.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people like our age and older will understand that, but you get like these people that are coming to the Battlefield franchise, like in Call of Duty or something, they'll be like, in their teens or something, they'll be like, oh, so much recoil, I can't, hold the gun and I can't hold the trigger down and kill someone. um, yeah, Heretic Zombie over in the Twitch chat says, I think we've become spoiled by advanced games with red dot and low recoil, honestly. And I agree with you. I agree 100%. And I think that's kind of like what we're alluding to here, is that people are just spoiled by that kind of stuff. That's not how guns work in real life. That's not how, like, I agree with G Street's point. I agree with your point. So I'm kind of on both sides of the fence here. Um, it shouldn't be too real, but at the same time, like, you can't expect to hold trigger down and have bullets fire on a line, like straight at someone. That's kind of stupid in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So anything to say about any other experiences that anyone wanted to share about Battlefield 1 beta so far? I know it's kind of early in the beta, but any other thoughts about it?
I would. Oh, go ahead, Assassin.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think aesthetically, as far as like UI and design, very, very reminiscent of Star Wars Battlefront, and I think that's the best way they can borrow from it, right? Because like I think even people who didn't enjoy the gameplay of Battlefront, the game is meticulously well designed and at least gorgeous to look at, even in the menus. But I also think the gameplay is very, very different, and people who compare them confuse me a little bit. But I wonder if Assassin has anything to say about that.
Not really. I mean, yes, some of it was taken from Star Wars Battlefront, but I mean, both of the games were made by like almost the same people. So if they weren't play a little bit the same, look the same, I mean, I would question it a little bit.
Yeah. And you got to keep in mind, like we talked about this a little bit last week too, that they did change the Battlefield 4 UI as well. So,
Right.
Is this like the new design language for DICE at this point? Like, is this kind of like what we're going to expect from all of their games, to kind of have the same user interface design, this clean look to, everything about the menus and everything? And I think they should, because I agree with you, Bear Claw. It's just so streamlined and so tight looking. So you know where everything is. It's not like you're not guessing where anything is, which is good, especially
Right.
with a game like Battlefield, where there is a lot of stuff you can consume, and a lot of stuff you can get into. Like Battlefield 4, like all the customization options and stuff. To me, before they changed the UI, like a lot of that stuff was hard to find. And now, like, even with the customization of the classes and stuff, this one is, much easier to find everything you're looking for. You can get in, get out of the menus, get back to playing, and I love that.
Yep.
Hold on. David Jordan in the YouTube chat says, after playing War Thunder, Battlefield 1 flying physics just don't cut it for me.
Yeah. Very bouncy.
Yeah, so I haven't flown anything. You guys have flown something? Bear Claw, you've flown?
I've had Assassin fly me. And he's not bad, but I think just like Battlefield 4, the vehicles, like even the tanks and the jeeps, like they just bounce all over the place, like they weigh 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Like vehicles aren't quite as, I'll say the tanks are overpowered, but vehicles aren't as weighty as I feel like they should be. And like it's really awkward, like if a plane like nicks like a tree, it just kind of does like this really weird. I don't know. It's not quite right. He's spot on to criticize it.
Yeah. You gotta try, what was it? Not the fighter, the bomber and the other bigger plane. They seem so slow and have so much weight to it. It is so annoying to get by, what is it, the fighter. And then, because Zaz and I played a few hours where he was in the back turret, I was flying, doing bombing runs, and we just get destroyed because his turret doesn't do much
Right.
damage, and we can't get away from these guys because the radius of turning is so slow.
Right. Right.
And then I find that this was cool. Like we were flying, we were doing some bomber runs, we got hit, and then both of the wings got clipped, and we were just started spinning, and we couldn't do anything about it because, I mean, we were spinning. I thought that was pretty cool to
Right.
see.
Right. And I'm glad that people. Well, I don't know. Obviously how the whole community feels about stuff like that, but it's awesome to think that like that stuff is cool instead of being annoying. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Well, sometimes it gets annoying because, like, if you're getting away and then your wing is clipped, and then now your turning radius is even larger than before. I mean, you basically just signed your death certificate.
Right. Right. But see, that's like I'd rather have that than not. I'd rather have like something new to the destruction on vehicles, like the fact that you can take out certain parts of the vehicles on even the land ones and stuff. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that added element. I think it completely changes the way you play vehicles in the game.
Oh yeah, especially if you're on that heavy tank, your front turret's done. I mean, you're might as well just run away.
Exactly. Yep. So Chicken Spaghetti in the YouTube chat says, I like the War Train. I was driving that thing, taking all of the points. So what do you guys think of the War Train
Oh,
before we kind of move on?
don't
Oh,
get me started on that.
it,
Bearclaw
I,
has heard
yeah,
me
it,
complain
it
about
can
it.
it's as good as the people driving it, right? And that's such a stupid cliche, but it's true. Every game is as good as the people playing it. But yeah, Assassin and I have played games where people will just go and sit at one of the spawns and just kind of annoy people instead of using it to capture the 3 points on whatever, what's this level called, Sinai Desert.
Yeah, it is, yep.
Right. Like people will just go spawn kill instead of like using it to kind of hold down the 3 spawn points on the tracks.
Yeah.
Uh, Again, it's cool. I'm interested. Again, I'm more interested to see how the blimps work on level like St. Quentin Scar. The blimps just seem more interesting to me than the train.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Nothing would surprise me if they added another map into this, by the way.
Yeah, but it's 6 gigs. I mean, well,
Okay.
at least on Xbox. So I mean, they got already a huge map, a lot of stuff. I don't think that that's big enough for 2 maps.
And to get a patch on Xbox, like you could maybe do it on PC, but to get a patch certified on Xbox or PlayStation, you'd have to submit the patch like last week in anticipation of putting it out.
But haven't they
Um,
done this before? Like, I feel like there's been a beta that's been in existence before where they added maps incrementally.
but like as a surprise, or is
Yeah.
it like, hey, on the fifth day we're gonna add it?
Yeah, well, that's true too. Yeah,
I
that's
don't
that's
know.
an important point to make because if they had a plan, then obviously it would be insert way
Yeah.
beforehand.
But yeah, I did read something on Reddit where somebody dug through the files and they saw that there isn't a second map like hidden within the 6 gigs. So if they did, it would have to be a la update. So we'll
Right.
see.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Any more final thoughts before we get off this topic? I'm sure we'll be talking about this a little more next week as well, just to kind of wrap it up.
Um, I have one more thing. Have you guys been on one of those placeable machine gun turrets? Those things are so satisfying, especially was it the fourth rush place by whatever MCOM, and everyone just runs there. You just mow everyone down. I don't know if you guys done it, but it's so
Not
satisfying.
me. I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, a lot of the turrets are placed in really good choke points, and Assassin's exactly right. Like they basically create like bottlenecks in the map, and then they just put a turret at the end, and like a coordinated team can dominate I think you're right. I think it's the 4th point in
Yeah, and the third point I found out earlier today too, on the
yeah,
left
no.
side.
There are some satisfying choke points in this game. The level is well designed. I just, you know what I mean? Like, if it was one of 3 maps, I wouldn't be saying shit about it. But since it's the one map I'm playing it, and I've already
Yeah.
got 10 hours in the beta, I'm a little sick of it. But
Right.
obviously, when the full retail game is out, I can't imagine that being much of an issue.
Right. Lady Foxfire in the YouTube chat says they usually do one map every time they do a beta. Play the the beta for BF3 and BF4. So
Yep.
that's why I'm kind of expecting it. So I don't know.
Yep.
We'll see. J Street puts in the final word here. He says it's cool when you respawn right next to someone, they'd be freaking out. Yeah, so the spawning's a little iffy at the moment, to say the least.
Sometimes you can spawn after your teammate has died.
Yep.
Oh, see, I haven't had that happen. I haven't seen
Yeah.
that.
It's very rare, but it's like if somebody like presses it just as the person, like it must be like just a millisecond thing. But it's exactly right. I've had that issue where I'll tip somebody over and I'll be halfway through the reload animation and their buddy will spawn on them, and it's like, well, shit, right? Like that's it. There's no competing there. Yeah, it happens, but again, that's what a beta's for.
Right, exactly. So people keep in mind, this thing's going until what, the 8th?
8th or 9th, yeah, something like that.
So you get a lot of playtime in. So make sure you guys grab it this weekend. If you working, can't play or something, or grab it as soon as you can, so you guys can enjoy it, check it out. We'd love to hear from you guys. So hit us up on Twitter and let us know what you guys thinking about this particular beta, because it's a big one. I don't know if any changes are going to come from it. EA's been good with the Battlefield series lately with that kind of thing, with Hardline, their alpha and beta that they had. So, they are listening to feedback. So definitely make your name heard there, make your concerns heard, and play this beta, because they need people to come out and say these things, to make changes and to make it the game that you really want. Because to me, Battlefield 1. Feels like the game that I really have wanted from a Battlefield game. It just needs the tweaks here and there. So I'll definitely be submitting my reports and stuff. So you guys should too. All right, Battlefield's over. Let me see here. Let's save the No Man's Sky thing for last, I think. Let's get into EA. Some more EA news, right? So Peter Moore, you guys know who Peter Moore is?
Yep.
I know. I asked that rhetorically.
Yeah. Well, we're telling you yes anyway.
Well, thank you. Thank you for answering that. Anyway, so he said something kind of interesting this week. People were, following some rumors and kind of hoping for a Mass Effect trilogy remastering. And Peter Moore kind of said, can we make an easy buck on remastering this stuff? Yes. But, EA is a company on delivering for the future. They don't want to live on the past. They don't want to keep remastering games and pushing out stuff and charging for it. They want to make new experiences, and that's why we're getting Mass Effect Andromeda and not getting a Mass Effect trilogy remastering. So, so I put here on the slide here, too long don't read, no upcoming EA remasters. So, what do you think? Is EA kind of like leading the charge here to end this remaster train, or is this just like one company standing out from the rest and people are just going to keep remastering games?
So here's my thing. If you're not going to, remaster it, then just make it backwards compatible. As somebody who plays on Xbox predominantly, we've already got the first game on there, so just, wrap that up. But my thing is that EA has been so hot and cold on this issue, that's why there's this confusion, right? Coming out of Gamescom, they kind of hinted that, hey, it might be happening, and now they're like, oh, we're going to focus on Andromeda. Which is fine. I think that's fine. It's just, make your mind up and stick with it. I don't have an inherent issue with remasters so long as it's a true remaster. It justifies what it is, which means they invest some time in maybe redoing some assets instead of just bumping up the resolution and frame rate. That being said, I think the Mass Effect series is absolutely deserving of a remaster. It would be one that I'd pick up. A little bit later, we're going to talk about another remaster that I don't think is worth your time. But yeah, no, whatever, I guess. I don't need Mass Effect Remaster, but it's one of the ones I would have bought.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of people are looking for this. I mean, people would be perfectly fine with it being backwards compatible for sure.
Right.
But if it came out remastered, it would kind of like break the internet, I feel. Um, so I think a lot of people were kind of hoping for this. There were some rumors about it, and now EA has kind of squashed those rumors, and some people are sad. I'm personally pretty happy about it as Clown drops out.
Great. Well, one of my
But he's
concerns,
playing
though,
his back.
just one thing I forgot to touch on is that now that Mass Effect is, if it's not already, it's very close to approaching, is almost a decade-old franchise. And so, like the Master Chief Collection, I think that a remaster could have brought in fans who were either not around or very young when the series, even Mass Effect 3, was a big deal. So I think that Andromeda, like Master Chief Collection, or I guess Halo 5, can kind of be a new point for new fans. And without that remaster, it's like Metal Gear Solid 5, right? Like Metal Gear Solid 5 was the first big one on an Xbox in a while, but because it's such an old franchise, it's really alienating to try to jump in as
Right.
somebody who's new to that franchise. I didn't mean to ramble there. I was trying to figure out a way to like articulate that, but yeah, no, I think a remaster could have served the youngest generation who's just getting into RPGs. Yeah.
Right. Sasson, what do you think about this? About them kind of squashing remasters from EA?
I wish they would do some remasters. I feel like Mass Effect would be a good one too, even if they just do the first one. Because I mean, if you go play it now, I mean, the controls are just awful.
Yeah.
I mean, that one could use it, and then I mean, they could even just put 2 and 3, put it to 1080 or whatever, and just whatever, and just keep one and give it, the good stuff.
Right. Right.
But then, I mean, it would be nice to have like a Battlefield like 1943 or whatever come back, that was on the 360, or even like a Battlefield 3. Well, that one could be good backwards compatible, but I don't know. Some of their games, I wish they would become backward, or not backwards, but get a remaster.
Right.
Right.
I'm not looking for like Madden 08, you know what I
No,
mean? But
not the
like
Mad.
anything narrative or Battlefield, like yeah, absolutely. I mean, and like it's not necessary, but it'd be sweet for them to be like, hey, just like Call of Duty, we're gonna remaster, Battlefield 1943, and it's gonna be a pre-order incentive for Battlefield 1. I mean, they totally, it'd be stupid, but I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. I again, like Activision and Ubisoft have kind of milked it, but I would totally buy at least one or two remasters from EA.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I think it's even more surprising. Like, I'm not a huge fan of remasters, and I don't think they should keep doing it, especially 3 years into this console cycle. Um, so I don't think they should do it. But at the same time, EA has some of the best games that people would do it for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of sad to see it like that. But at the same time, I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Like it's time to get new games. Time to get games to make me want to play this generation, not replay the old games that want to play the last generation. Um, and Jamie Moran, shout out to him. He's definitely watching the show because he tweeted at us and with a little
Oh,
gift that
Mass
had him
Effect.
jump. Yeah, that had him jumping off a bridge because he's a huge Mass Effect fan. But Andromeda's coming, Jamie, and I know
I
you know that. But
Now I think, and again, this is kind of a broad scope, and I don't mean to take us totally off track, but like I think that looking at the Scorpio and presumably the Neo slash PlayStation 5, I think with those consoles they've realized that backwards compatibility is something that gamers want. And I think the lack of backwards compatibility is what made remaster so successful in the first half of this new generation. So looking to the future, as long as the next generation is back compat, I honestly don't think that remasters are going to be as prominent, or at least that's my hope.
right, right. Um, looks like we might have lost Clowns due to weather. Hopefully, we can get him back. But as of right now, he's not here. That's why you're not hearing from him. Hopefully, he's safe and everything. I know Florida's having some really terrible weather right now, so hopefully he's all right. We'll try to get him back. In the YouTube chat, we've got Chicken Spaghetti says, "I would love to destroy all humans remaster." So there's another like narrative story-driven game that people are looking forward to.
Is that EA?
I think that is EA.
Okay.
Hold on, let me check. We're gonna talk about it in a second. A Ubisoft remaster that's been essentially confirmed. Um, No, Destroy All Humans is THQ, so that's not EA.
So that's probably
Yeah,
that's
but
not gonna happen.
Telltale game.
THQ
But
Nordic or whatever it's
Oh yeah,
called.
you're right. You're right. They did just resurface. Yeah, but again, even though THQ Nordic is back, we don't know because remember they had an auction for a lot of their IPs.
Yeah,
So it's interesting to see. I don't know who has the IP for Destroy All Humans, but yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, I never actually delved into the series, but I know they were tremendously popular when I was pretty young.
right. No, Clowns is not back, by the way. Oh snap! In the chat, I'm continually calling him just to see if he comes back, but I think there's some weather issues going on in Florida, so.
Yep.
All right. Anything else to say about this EA stuff? I mean, it pretty much speaks for itself. I don't know how people feel. Not a lot of people said anything in the chat. I know in the Twitch chat, Heretic Zombie has said he wants a Skate 4 already. So that's exactly why
Yep.
they're not making remasters, because they're gonna make like that
Right.
probably. And speaking of remasters, BioShock collection in 12 days with
Cool.
a winky face. So I mean, I'm not getting that personally,
Yeah.
but
I'll get it, but not for 60. I mean, that's my chief complaint with a lot of these remasters is that it's like 1080p 60, that's cool, but like if it's the same textures, just up-res, you know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, again, like when it's a bare minimum remastered, hell no, I'm not paying full price.
right.
But the problem is the reason we keep getting these half-assed, half-baked remasters is because they obviously sell like hotcakes.
Yeah, people are buying them.
Right,
Exactly.
we're all like, oh, these are stupid. We won't buy them, and we all secretly do, or whatever, and
Right.
that's why they're so prominent.
Right. Speaking of remasters that will probably sell a butt ton, Assassin's Creed: The Ezio Collection has apparently been leaked. Apparently, there's been some promotional material that has been, snapped on candid camera here, and apparently, Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Revelations, I believe, is what the three that are going to be in that collection. Correct?
Yep.
And I'm not the biggest Assassin's Creed fan, but I know Assassin's a pretty big Assassin's Creed fan. Apparently, it's going to be 1080p, 30 frames per second. It's going to be $60, kind of like what you were complaining about a second ago, Barraclaw, about remasters. So, Assassin, I want to hear from you first, bud, because I know you're a big AC fan.
If it's just 1080-30 and that's it,
No, it's 1080-3. It's 1080-30, all the DLC, and then they're going to include a couple animated short films, I guess.
Well, still, if you go play the backwards compatible version of Assassin's Creed 2, it doesn't look that great whatsoever. So, 1080p won't really make a huge difference of how it still looks. It still looks old and not that great.
Right.
As a big fan of Assassin's Creed 2 and even Brotherhood is all right.
All right, that's the best one.
I don't know. Like Ezio was great, and I think the story was good, but like I don't know. I think they progressively got worse in the Ezio trilogy. But again, like it just doesn't seem like something that I would pay. The biggest thing I took away is that it's $60, and like if it was $30-$40, like absolutely. But it's just like I've played this. I don't know if I need to do it again, especially for full price.
Yeah.
The real winners when it comes to remasters are obviously some PC gamers, right, who get the free or cheap upgrades.
Right.
But no, on console, absolutely not. I won't do it. At least not for 60. When it's $20 next Black Friday, we'll talk.
Yeah, it's gonna be, it's gonna be like 25, 20. Yeah, and that's probably when I'll pick this up as well, because I have not played Brotherhood or Revelations. I played Assassin's Creed 2. That game was very good.
Revelations, it was awful.
Yeah, I heard Revelations wasn't too
good. It was probably the worst one in the series, except Unity.
Yeah, and I know you told me back in the day that Brotherhood, quite a while ago, you told me that Brotherhood was the best one. So, for 20, is it worth it to play all these again if you can grab it for 20 at Black Friday? I'd say yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what's so frustrating about this is that, and I don't mean to cut off. I know I get on these rants, but it's like in May, Ubisoft said, "Hey, we're not doing Assassin's Creed this year. We're going to delay it a year, and you'll get Watch Dogs 2." And that's great with me. That's fine with me. I like that. But just stick to your word. Like shit. Just let Watch Dogs 2 have the spotlight. I'm not even excited for Watch Dogs 2, but like stop flooding me with your same trilogy. Like, in order for me to want your game, I have to miss it first. So let me miss it. You know what I mean? Don't get greedy and just cash in with these remasters. It's just I don't know. I don't know. I think gamers like love this punishment of like pay money for shit that you don't really need.
Right.
It's just frustrating.
Interesting stuff going on in the Twitch chat that I kind of wanted to bring up for you guys if you're not checking it out. Heretic Zombie says if they did it like Minecraft did, a $5 upgrade from 360 to Xbox One, that would be a much better deal.
Yep.
What do you guys think of something like that? If they did, if companies did that instead of offering full blown remasters? on disc?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think a la carte, even like how Capcom's doing Resident Evil is really good too.
Or Metro
Yep.
Redux.
Yep. Super underrated games right there. Yep.
Yeah. And look at how those games were dirt cheap after a little while. So.
Yep.
And also he said something that I thought was interesting, but I don't think it's going to work out, especially for a game like this. He says, I think remasters should offer transferable DLC. So that's an interesting thought. And if, a lot of remasters include the DLC though, right off the bat. So that's kind of the problem with that.
Does he mean like retroactive? So if you bought it on Xbox One, it'd work on Xbox 360?
Oh, I don't know. I think he meant from 360 to Xbox One. But that's an interesting thing.
But yeah, because usually the DLC is included. I mean, if it's not included, then you're definitely being scammed.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, a lot of times you see these remasters, they have the DLC anyway. I mean, that's how it was with Borderlands Collection. That's how it's going to be with BioShock. That's how it's going to be with this one. So,
yep.
So I don't know if that will work out, but the upgrade deal is definitely an interesting thought, Heretic. So. Yep. Good point over there in the Twitch. People in the both in Twitch and YouTube are loving the Metro Redux stuff. Yeah, very underrated. And you can get those games for dirt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Xbox Gen Next in the chat says I want Assassin's Creed Rogue for Xbox One. So why not do that instead of doing something stupid like this?
Right, or even back compat. Honestly, yeah. It's so weird that they haven't. I mean, I don't remember the reviews. I assume average, probably.
I heard a lot of people liked it.
Yeah. No, I mean honestly, that's probably like a contestant for back compat from Ubisoft. So whatever. Yeah, but you're right. I would pay $40 to $60 for a game I've never played.
Right.
Like what was it, Rogue?
Yeah, Rogue.
Yep. Yeah. I'd pay $60 for Rogue, but just not 3 games I've played multiple times. 7 to 3 years ago. Nah.
Well, also Assassin's Creed 2 is backwards compatible, so you're basically paying $60 for 2 games, and one of them is really bad, and the other one is really good. So it's like paying $60 for one.
Right. Yep. Good point. Last thing on this, Heretic Zombie kind of clarified what he meant. I got a call. Bounce back. The video isn't messed up. He says the big DLCs are included a lot of time, but your extras like costume, weapons, stuff like that aren't necessarily included.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
Good point. So yeah, I mean, if they did that, I think they should do that. I mean, if you have a digital copy of the game, it's so easy to verify that you have that. They obviously did that for Minecraft, and it went off without a hitch. It wasn't really, that big of an issue. Even, right at launch, a lot of people were able to do that. I know some people had problems, but right at launch, they were able to do that. So I think that would be a realistic expectation for companies in the future to do stuff like that. Will they? Who knows? People are greedy, so a lot of companies are greedy that do this kind of thing. So. I mean, some of the remasters are done for the right reasons. I think the Borderlands collection was a fabulous remaster.
Yep.
That was almost completely, I mean, even Gears of War Ultimate Edition, I think was fabulous. That was redone essentially from the ground up. So when they do stuff like that, I'm totally for it. When they just push it up with a little bit of up-res, kind of like we talked about already.
I mean, frankly, BioShock the collection is probably the next offender of that.
It is.
But it's such a double standard. I'm like, but they're so damn good, right? Like, I don't know. As a massive fan of BioShock, I've got some cognitive dissonance about it. But you're right. I mean, when developers do these half-ass attempts, like what he's talking about, where they don't include the skins, like that's cheap as shit. And I can't support that.
Right. So if you guys like this
So-
AC Unity thing, definitely let us know. I want to hear what people think about this. Um, but I think overall, people are kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to say it's long in the tooth because that's kind of like my phrase that I've been using a lot in podcasts lately. But at the same time, I think it is. I think remasters are slowly fading off into the sunset. I don't think people should keep doing them. I mean, there were so many iconic games on the 360, but let those be the iconic games of that gen and make your own iconic games. Don't keep relying on the old stuff. You
Right.
know, it's crazy. You know, it wouldn't work. I mean, this is a terrible analogy, but this is kind of like what I think of with remasters. What if you had like, I mean, I'm in Boston, so I'm a Pats fan for football. So what if you had like the 2000, 2001, 2004 Patriots, um, and you kept like pushing those guys out in the field, and you remaster them with some makeup or something like steroids. You know what I mean? Like people want new good things. Like people don't want old good things. I
Right.
don't think. And with this collection, like you guys said, Revelations was terrible. So people don't want to buy a collection where 2/3 of it is good. Like
Right.
that's saying you're already out of the gate with only 66% of the game being good.
Well, and you're right in that these developers, these publishers need to make games for this generation because remasters are a very finite thing, right? Like, if you don't make a lot of games in this current generation, then what are you going to do? Are you going to remaster your remaster in another 5 years? Like,
Nice. Yep.
right? Like you have to push out content. Again, I hate to keep going back to it, but like Andromeda would have been one where like making 1 through 3 makes sense because Andromeda has had such a tumultuous and ongoing development. But like Ezio Collection, like nobody really asked for this.
Right.
And that's kind of the issue. It's just not in demand. It'll probably still sell well because like, hey, it's Assassin's Creed and they always sell well. But
Right.
yeah, can't say much more than that.
Yeah. So yeah, let us know if you guys are getting this. I mean, no release date slash price slash anything has been really confirmed. Just kind of like leaks at this point. But I would say that this promotional material is pretty indicative of the future with this, and I think that this is actually going to happen. So some people may be excited, but it looks like a lot of our viewers, what they've said in the the YouTube chat and the Twitch chat, aren't really too into Assassin's Creed too much. So I think I know what's to come from people about this topic. But anyway, Quiet One Gaming in the YouTube chat wants to know: didn't they already do that collection on the 360?
They might
Probably.
have.
Probably after the Xbox One launched, but yeah, probably.
Steve 1994. Oh, sorry, Steve 994, not 1994, 994. Over in the Twitch chat says, "I might get this. I like Ezio." So just kind of like the final thing on this because I do want to move on. Is Ezio the best Assassin's Creed protagonist?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like I don't feel like they took him in an effective way. Like again, I thought that Brotherhood made some good gameplay refinements, but I didn't feel like the story got better. But like young Ezio, like this idea of a young person who still doesn't know who he is as a person, and then has to figure out who he is as an assassin. Like I think that's a lot of growth, a lot of really good story development. Whereas, like the Native American thing for Assassin's Creed 3 could have been good, but like it ended up feeling like an afterthought. Yeah, no, I probably to me most memorable anyway.
Yeah. Assassin, last word on this.
I think Ezio is great, but I don't know. Remaster them just because of Ezio? No.
Right.
All right. Last topic of this show. It's gonna be probably a quick one. But I did want to bring this up because we talked about this on TXR, and I don't want to topic steal, but I will, give them credit for bringing this topic up, and I thought it was an awesome one on that show. No Man's Sky is at the beginning of the week. People have been noticing that Steam, Amazon, and PlayStation Network have been giving um, a lot of refunds on this game. And typically, on a digital title, you don't really get refunds, right? That's kind of like a pariah. It's kind of like the chupacabra. You don't get refunds on digital stuff. You have to jump through a lot of hoops and whistles. Microsoft does have this, like, under the rug policy that you will get a refund once a year on a digital title, depending on the situation. And people don't really know about it because, they don't really advertise that. But with this, a lot of people have been saying, yeah, I've been getting No Man's Sky refund. Like somebody, proved that he got a No Man's Sky refund. He had 50 hours played of the game. So I don't remember exactly what platform that was on, but Amazon's been doing refunds, Steam has been doing it, and PS4 has been doing it. I don't know about any other retailer, but they kind of all had to, because of this rumor. I mean, this thing kind of got big. And people were talking about on the net that these companies had to actually come out and make statements about the refund policy. Like if you go on Steam right now, you go on Steam, you'll see a box below the game, below like the pictures and stuff next to the price. It's an orange box and it says, the standard refund policy applies to No Man's Sky. They had to come out and say that because so many people were saying, "Oh, well, I was on Steam and I got my refund and I've been playing for, I played for 50 hours or something." Um, but Steam says that no special refund policy, standard thing applies. Amazon is actually the only one that has said, refunds can come at any time, any amount of playthrough on a case by case basis. So they're the only ones. PlayStation has said refunds at any time if you have quote unquote tech issues. I don't know how you prove to somebody over the phone that you have tech issues, but somehow, people have been getting refunds successfully by saying they have quote unquote tech issues. I think people are lying about that, and that's how they're getting refunds. But um, anyway, my spiel is over. People talk about what you feel about this. What do you think about refund on No Man's Sky after potentially 50 hours of gameplay?
Assassin?
Well, 50 hours, let's be honest, is a lot of game time. Does it mean that he sometimes, sat there? Because I know clowns or I've done that where we've left our, Xboxes on a game and, had to run and do something. Or, or he actually played almost the entire 50 hours. If he's played that, he shouldn't deserve a refund. I mean, you've played that game. You obviously, some way, shape, or form, enjoyed
Right.
that game.
It-
But people who've probably played, way less, they deserve a refund, no questions asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to, I know I didn't really expound on this, and a lot of people that watch our show or listen aren't really PC gamers, so I want to, explain in depth what the Steam standard policy is. It is 2 hours of gameplay or 2 weeks from purchase, whichever one comes first. You're eligible for a refund, no questions asked. So now that that's kind of like been established, Bear Claw, you want to respond to what Assassin said, or give your own opinion?
Yeah, so I'm in agreement with Assassin. I think that unless you're a reviewer, you do not play a game for 50 hours that you don't like. Like you just that's not, you know what I mean? No
Yeah.
one is that much of a masochist. Like no. Nobody wants to play something that's that like yeah,
Well,
no.
I don't know, because the thing is that you saw a lot of the reviewers, and the reviewers said, well, the beginning sucks. It's going to take a few hours to get into it, and then you get later on down the road, and it actually gets better because you're able to do this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah, but 50 hours
No,
later?
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I did between about 15 and 25 before I actually returned my physical copy. Got like $20 from GameStop. That's how it goes.
You.
But that's how it's. I mean, but that's how refunds should be. I mean, it's not a refund. That's how it should be. As much as I hate GameStop, like you don't. 50 hours is a lot of time to spend on a game to get a refund, in my opinion. Unless the game, and if somebody legitimately had a tech issue, which I doubt anyone really did, I think that's a little bit more than wrong. Now, if you played 10, 15 hours and you realized the game wasn't going there, I think that's fair. But at 50 hours, like I said, when I was at 15 to 25 hours, I had gotten a couple places. I'd upgraded my suit substantially, had a decent ship, and had traveled to several galaxies, and like I got the gist of the game and was like, all right, this isn't gonna get any better. I've figured out the game's hook, and I don't like it. And at that point, you either bite the bullet and accept that you spent $60 or return a physical copy. Yeah, no, I think $50 hours is an insane amount of time to still get a refund.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, I it's not on me to tell someone what's moral and what's not, but from a money standpoint, like you got your entertainment's worth it. It's like watching the whole movie, staying through the credits, and then walking up and saying, "Can I have a refund because I didn't like it?"
Yeah, that's
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
That's
Like,
it. That's it.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's just bizarre, and a lot of like I know the theater near me has like it was in the first 30 minutes we'll give you a refund. Like that's kind of how it should be with games. It's how Steam does it, but no, you can't say through the whole thing, see the whole hook, and then be like, nah. No, it's wrong.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's kind of like what people, you know, are saying in our YouTube chat. Chicken Spaghetti says, and Mel kind of, oh snap, said it a little bit earlier. Like eating all of your food and telling the waiter it wasn't good.
Right,
You know what
right.
I mean?
Exactly.
Imagine if you finished a meal and expected a refund, and you know, and this is kind of like, you know, I don't want to keep going back to TXR because you know I am on that program, and they kind of brought up some good points, but a similar sentiment was said on there by Rand, and he said, um, you know, imagine, you know, if you complete something, anything, like complete it, and like you just said with the movie thing, Bear Claw, I mean, same kind of analogy. You complete it, you fully complete it, and then you ask for a refund.
Right,
You know, in some of these games, you're gonna do 50 hours for No Man's Sky, but you're not gonna do 50 hours for like Mighty Number Nine.
right, right.
You know,
Exactly,
it's a dangerous
exactly.
precedent. It's a very dangerous precedent, I think, and I don't think you can do case by case basis when these refund policies. I think Steam does it right. I think it's 2 hours or 2 weeks, and I think that's more than fair. I
Yep.
think within 2 hours you'll know if the game's good or not. I mean, granted, Steam has thousands of games and people buy the weirdest shit on there. You know, whatever it is, like friggin' desk simulator or whatever, job simulator, you know, stuff like that. So people buy weird stuff just to see if they're into it, and then, you know, there's no really such thing as demos. I mean, there is, but not, you know, a widespread amount of them on Steam or even the Xbox One for that matter, or the PS4. I mean, demos isn't really a thing anymore. So,
Yep.
yeah, completing something and asking for a refund is crazy.
Right, and I say everything I say about No Man's Sky as somebody who did not like it. If you guys want a quick plug, if you guys want to see my review, it's on bearclawgaming.com. I gave it a 2 out of 5. I wasn't a big fan, but again, like I don't deserve my money back.
Right.
Like, no, I played it. I played the hook, and then I left. Like, look, and the thing is nobody, like, people, everyone who saw Suicide Squad walked out being like, yeah, that movie was shit, but nobody
Oh,
walked
yeah.
up front and was like, can I have a refund? Because that's just not how it works, and we all know it.
Right.
But when we
Yep.
have and like this shit gets over, gets said a lot. But it's like when we have that screen in front of us, that like just a touch of anonymity. You kind of feel like you can maybe ask for
Right.
something that you can't ask. Like you would never walk up to a GameStop and play, but kind of a full refund because I didn't like it, because you know the answer would be no.
Right. And that's the moral implications. That's really what the question is.
Yep.
Is it morally right to do so? If these companies let you, then these companies let you. It's all about moral implications.
Right.
And you're right, when they're and you can tell, like, when people get flamed on Twitter, like celebrities get flamed, or people get, you know, hacked over the internet or whatever. Like, people would not do that if it were face to face. It's all that protection of the screen, like you just said. And I'm really glad you brought that up, man. I'm really glad you brought that up, because that is something that really goes, you know,
Right.
past people's thoughts, is that, you know, the computer like, people feel entitled over the internet, but are people going to be feeling entitled if they went to that store and asked for a refund? You'd feel like a dick. I know
Right.
9 times out of 10 you'd feel like an absolute dick if you went in and asked for a refund on something you played 50 hours of. Like
Right.
Costco, for example. You guys have Costco near you? Costco wholesale?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Their return policy is you can return whatever you want whenever you want. Okay, except for electronics. But electronics used to be included in that policy. They recently changed that to 90 days in electronics. But can you imagine if you bought a computer from Costco back before they instituted
yeah.
the new one? You bought a computer and used it for a year, and the new technology came out, and you went back and were like, "Oh, I didn't like it." Got a
Right.
full
That's
refund. Like,
insane.
I would feel like an absolute dick. I would not be able to do that.
Right. And again, like, I get it that it's hard to feel bad for a company that's as terrible as GameStop, but like, you're not going to go into GameStop and be like, yeah, I had tech issues. Like, no, like,
Yeah, of course not. Yeah.
they're going to look at you and tell you to get out. But because somebody behind a computer screen who gets paid, probably minimum wage, isn't going to be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not
Yeah,
really
yeah,
taking
yeah.
that fight. And like, honestly, like, it's so personally wrong to me to do that. Yeah, no, like, again, if you played under 10 hours of No Man's Sky, like, I know you said 2 hours seems about right, but I think No Man's Sky is a game that it takes a while to sink your teeth in. Like, 10 hours, like, seems fair with No Man's Sky, but 50 hours, you can't tell me that you didn't have a smile on your face for some of that time if you're willing to put in that much time.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, we're wearing this subject out, but yeah, no, that's so wrong.
Assassin, any more thoughts on this before we kind of wrap it up?
Well, I mean, I forget who created No Man's Sky, but I mean, they kind of basically just lied to us, saying that there's going to be, like that E3 video versus what when it came out. I mean, there was like dinosaurs, the landscapes were amazing. And then you get out here, you get like, a dinosaur that was like beat across the face with a hammer when it was, little
Right.
or something.
Right.
I don't know. And then multiplayer, like it's not there, and we were promised these features. So, I mean, if you put a few hours in, I feel like you should get it because
Mhm.
I mean they lied, but yeah.
Right.
Right.
So that's an interesting thought that we kind of didn't bring up. So much for beating this to death, right, Bear Claw?
Right. Yeah. I know.
But that's a really interesting, like, important thing to say is that, like, we were blatantly lied to about it. So if you bought it and you were blatantly lied to about it, are you entitled to a refund even after 50 hours, or should you have figured it out by that 50 hours that you were blatantly lied to, and say screw it, like I'm returning it in 10 hours or 5 hours?
Look, I think I totally sympathize with people who really went in thinking, hey, I can play this with my friend because Sean Murray of Hello Games did repeatedly say, yeah, you're gonna play this. This is multiplayer. You're gonna see other people. And I think that you're right. That's false. That's false advertising, and it's wrong. But like, and I hate to make this comparison, but like, you'll watch a press release for a movie that's about to come out, right? Like an interview with Ben Affleck or whatever, and it ends up being the movie that he's in is awful. Um, I don't know. It's just like false advertising in the entertainment industry is so rampant
Mhm.
that
It's
I don't
almost
know.
come to be expected at
And
this
like
point.
and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, but like I hate to say it, but it probably is.
Mhm.
Like there are so many times where a trailer looks great and the movie sucks, and like you could call that false advertising, but like in fact, I think somebody tried to sue DC or whoever screened whoever made Suicide Squad because they were promised a lot of Joker in all the trailers, and then Joker was barely in it. And like you can try, but that's not going to work. Yeah, I don't
Right.
know. I think there's separate issues. Like lying to your consumer base is awful, and you're going to betray their trust. And Hello Games is probably going to have a very hard time in the future convincing gamers that they have something
Oh
worthwhile.
yeah.
Like
Right.
they've shot themselves in the foot in a whole other way that I don't think refunds. I don't know. I think they're separate issues. They're both moral issues.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've beat this thing to death. In Assassin, we've only gone an hour and 11 minutes. Aren't you proud?
Some
Yep.
more Battlefield time for them.
That's right. That's
Oh
absolutely
yeah.
right. Yeah. So everyone who's checked out the show, this is kind of like the end, sadly. But thanks for coming and checking episode 102. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like us. Please write a review for us on iTunes, that kind of thing. We really would appreciate it. Um, you know, we put this thing on for you guys. We don't get paid or anything, obviously, and really enjoy it. And chat was awesome tonight, even in the Twitch chat. So shout out to everybody over there as well, as the YouTube chat. Beam chat, not so much. Only had a couple people pop in, didn't really say anything, but Beam is new, so maybe that'll progress. Before I shout out our social media and stuff, let me go ahead and give Bearclaw an opportunity to tell everyone where they can find him.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for spending your Thursday with us. Wow, it took me a minute. Your Thursday night with us. I really appreciate that, especially everyone who's stuck through. That's great. Thank you. If you'd like to check out some of my stuff, read my news articles as well as reviews. I'm at bearclawgaming.com. Similarly, you can follow me on Twitter and see my new articles, catch some of my opinions and stuff like that. Everybody, have a good Friday and enjoy your weekend. Clowns, if you catch us afterward, we missed you on the show, buddy. Hope everything in Florida is going all right.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm gonna definitely message him after the show, make sure everything's going okay. He messaged us during the show, said he was all right, but there was a tornado warning in effect. So hopefully everything is going all right with him. Sad that we couldn't get him back on, but all right, we'll have him on that for next week.
Safety first.
Absolutely, absolutely. Assassin, thanks for keeping it
Yep.
real, bud.
You're welcome.
Anyway, you can find us on you can find all of our stuff really on 4guysreporters.com. That's our website. Go over there, check it out. I think you guys will like it. Some articles, some reviews, all of our past episodes, including this one shortly. So yeah, go over there and check it out. We're on Twitter. 4GWQ Podcast is our handle over there. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/4guysreporters. You guys probably know what our YouTube is since most of you watch us on YouTube. It's youtube.com/4guysreporters. And we're also on Twitch at twitch.tv/4guysreporters. I bet you couldn't figure out what our beam name is. It's Four Guys with Quarters, so go
Are
follow
you
us over
sure?
there. Yep, I am sure actually. Yeah, and check us out on iTunes, Pocket Casts, your favorite podcast fetchers. You'll find us, over there. And also, I'll obviously follow us at our individual things too. We're always game to play. Haha, kind of a pun there. But we're always really, looking for people to play with, Battlefield 1, stuff like that, Titanfall 2, a lot of multiplayer stuff coming out. So definitely, be down to play with everybody that watches the show. So definitely add us on Xbox. You can add me on Steam too. My Steam username is Inferno217. I had to put that in assassin right at the end.
Hey! Quick question for you, Inferno. Do you have a PC? We are just wondering.
Yeah, I do. I
Are
do.
you
Okay.
I
sure?
happen to have a
Alright,
PC.
alright.
Yeah,
We were
a
just
really,
Something tells
wondering.
me you
That's all.
don't have one.
yeah, really nice rig as well. Really nice. Can play, Battlefield 1 1440p at 80
Yep.
frames or so. So ultra settings, all that
Oh,
stuff,
great.
all that
Great.
stuff. All right, we'll catch you guys later. Thanks for coming by. Peace.